On today's episode, we are looking at the finances of a 36-year-old lady. She has a 13-year-old daughter. She was retrenched and is seeking guidance on how to manage her finances while actively job hunting. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Itumeleng. I'm a qualified management accountant, and on this channel, I help ordinary people like you learn how to start saving money, get out of debt, invest, and ultimately build wealth. If that is something you're interested in, please do subscribe and become a part of our growing rich family. Now let us get into the finances of our sister, starting with her income. She doesn't have a monthly salary because she was retrenched, so her monthly salary is 0. Now let us get into her savings and investments as well as debt balances. Severance payout 410,000. She originally received 410,000 as a payout when she was retrenched. Currently the balance is 185,000, and she says how she used the 225,000 was it was split amongst paying off some of her debt, her boyfriend's debt, and she also gave some money to her mom to help with her building. Pension fund 400,000 rands. In total, she has a balance of 585,000 rands, but we are just going to put the pension aside for now and focus on the amount of 185,000 that she's currently living off. 185,000 might look like a lot of money. It might even be a lot of money when you have a monthly active income coming in, but she has no income coming in. So every single month, this 185,000 will be going towards living expenses as well as debt. And without anything coming in, it will just be minus. So it's going to be really important to make sure that we can make this 185,000 last us as long as possible while she's job hunting. Now let us look at her debt. She has an overdraft of 2,000, macro credit card 6,000. Macro and game have been coming up a lot lately. Car 262,000. In total, she has a debt balance of 270,000. This was surprising for me to see that she still has so much debt. A car balance of 262,000 is a lot. You have an overdraft, you have a credit card debt, but you did have the 225,000 from the 410,000 payout. She had 225,000 that she decided to, put towards some of her debt. I don't know which debt she had, but she says she paid off some of her debt, and then she decided to use the rest of the money to pay off her boyfriend's debt, as well as give her mom a lump sum towards her home building. Her mom is building a house. She's not homeless. She just wants another house in the yard. There's nothing wrong with giving your mom money to put towards the house that she's building, but timing is everything, because you have debt of your own here that you left hanging, and then you went and paid off your boyfriend's debt, and then you gave your mom money for her house. No, your boyfriend is still working. His debt was not life and death situation. He was not in prison. It could have waited, okay? What is urgent is your debt, because you don't have income. You are the one that is retrenched. You cannot use this money to give to your mom to build her dream house on the side. Not now. This was not the time to be giving away money or paying off debt for other people. This was a perfect opportunity to, if you were interested in paying off debts, you could have put that towards your own debt. But, that is done now. But I hope lesson learned, and now we just have to figure out how we are going to continue to survive on the leftover 185,000. You have a balance of 185,000 for expenses, for debt payments until you get another job, and your total debt is sitting at 270,000. Already we are in a dangerous place. Already we are in trouble. But let's look at her monthly expenses to see what's going on there. Rent and helper are 0 because her boyfriend takes care of those expenses, her boyfriend pays for the rent and the helper, because when she lost her job, she moved in with her boyfriend so that she can cut costs. So the boyfriend continues to pay for the rent as well as the helper that he did have for his 2 kids. So she stays with her boyfriend and their 2 kids. Bank charges 500 rands, car 5,000 rands, car insurance 1,000 rands, petrol 1,500 rands. She wrote a little note for me on the side. She said the boyfriend is the one that uses the car. And I thought that was interesting that she put that there. She's trying to tell me I'm paying for the petrol, but he drives the car. Is that the message you were trying to send me? And I'm not getting involved. I'm not falling for it. You know, she's old. She's a grown woman. If she doesn't like that she's paying for petrol for her boyfriend, you know, your boyfriend is using your car, you are retrenched, you don't have an income coming in monthly, but on top of paying for the car that he uses, you pay for the petrol for that car, and you're not speaking up. If you don't like it, you're like, I'm just gonna write that there for Itumeleng so that she solves it for me. Zwip. And then she says groceries 7,000 rands, and then she writes me a little note again on the side. She says, this is because I stay with my partner's 2 kids. Okay, I'm just gonna take that as information as well. Nothing for me to comment on. I'm assuming that groceries are this high because, you know, you're a big family. And then I'm moving right along. Electricity 1,000 rands, storage 1,500 rands. When she moved out of her apartment, she put her stuff in storage, so she's paying 1,500 rands every single month. She said she moved in with her boyfriend so that she can cut costs because she does not have an income. But when you look at the petrol that she's paying for a car that she's not using because she's just at home, if she was staying alone, then the car would just be like parked in the garage. The 1,500, the groceries of 7,000, the electricity, and then the storage money, they all amount to 9,500 rands. With that, she might as well have just remained in her own apartment or even just downgraded it if her apartment was a little expensive. I'm not saying she should not contribute anything towards, you know, her boyfriend's apartment. However, this is a big contribution for someone who's retrenched. You know, it's a lot of money for her to be paying every single month with no income. So she might have just been better off staying alone. The groceries wouldn't be this much. The groceries money could have been her rent, including electricity. There would not be petrol. So the 1,500 could have been her groceries and she would have been fine, you know. So I think maybe speak to the boyfriend and revisit the groceries. The rest can stay. He can continue to use your car and you pour petrol. And that's none of my business. I know she put a note there for me, but just try to speak to him maybe about the groceries. Ask to reduce your groceries contribution to 4,000, and then he can carry the 3,000. Then the 3,000 difference we're gonna put in our recoupment fund. The storage is expensive. The 1,500 rands for storage is a lot for someone with no income. So you might consider selling some of those stuff. If you have some stuff in storage that you really like, you can talk to your boyfriend and see if you can bring some of those stuff into his place if there's space. If not, you might have to just sell it. Some of the proceeds from the stuff that you can sell, that you're willing to sell, can actually help, you know, pay for your living expenses while you're looking for a job. And then we take that 1,500 rands into the recoupment fund, because 1,500 rands is a lot of money, and I'm sure there are some things that you can let go of. Medical aid 6,900 rands. That's high. We know medical aid is expensive, and she says hers is not flexible. She's not flexible on the medical aid because her daughter has some medical needs. Funeral cover, 170 rands. She says this is just for her and her daughter. She does not have life cover, and I know money is tight. I know we are saying we are trying to minimize expenses as low as we can, but we have to get life cover, at least for her daughter, a little bit of life cover into the mix. Wi-Fi for boyfriend's apartment, 800 rands. Again, she wrote me that little note to say the Wi-Fi is for the boyfriend's apartment. What do you guys think about these comments? What do you guys think about the comments that she's writing on her spreadsheet? She said Wi-Fi for the boyfriend's apartment. Which apartment would it be for? Why are you telling us it's for the boyfriend's apartment? What do you want me to say? Am I the only one who thinks there's something going on with her little comments, or I'm reading too much into things? We are going to leave it there, 800. If she has something to say, like I said, she can use her words. Data for mom is 300 rands, gym 400 rands, Apple Music 130 rands, Google storage 100 rands, Netflix and Showmax 100 rands each. Allowance for her child is 2,000 rands, so her child stays with her father, so she just contributes towards medical aid as well as give her a monthly allowance of 2,000 rands. Nails 900 rands. That's some expensive nails. I've never seen such expensive nails for someone with no income. If you noticed from her expenses, she's continuing to spend like she has a monthly salary. She was in management, so she was enjoying a really nice salary. And I understand, she could have gotten away with 900 rands nails back then, but now, just for now, temporarily, while we are still trying to survive on 185,000, we cannot be spending 900 rands on nails. It does not make sense for our current situation. So we are going to cut nails by 500 rands, and then she can get nails done for 400 rands. That's still a lot of money. A lot of the girlies in the comments have been saying that if you want to save money on nails, you get press-ons. So she must get on the press-ons train. And then hair, 600 rands. I think the hair is not bad. She can keep the hair. Mom, 15,000 rands. You had me correct. It is 15,000 rands for her mother. In the middle of a pandemic, of a retrenchment. In this crisis of being retrenched and having only 185,000 to survive on, even after giving her mom a lump sum towards her house building after she got her retrenchment payout, she continues to give her mother 15,000 rands every single month. I said, what is going on? This is the biggest expense you have here. Even your child doesn't cost you this much. Why are you giving your mother 15,000? She says, no, my mother is building. I said, ma'am, is your mother building or are you building? She said, no, my mother is building and I'm helping her with her house building. So I give her 15,000 every single month. It's the amount that I was giving her while I was still working, and I continue to give her the same amount. You were giving her 15,000 when you were still working. You're not working. Why are we still giving her 15,000? She says, no, because my mom does not know I was retrenched and I don't want her to know because I don't want her to worry. So you don't want her to know you were retrenched. You don't want her to worry about you. So instead, the alternate is what? To continue to give her 15,000. Ma'am, did you see how much you're left with? You are left with 185,000. It is running out. With 185,000 left, and her monthly expenses, including debt payments, are 45,000 rands, she has only about 4 months, just 4 months until the money runs out if she does not get another income in that period. and you're continuing to give your mother 15,000. I said, you know what? It's fine. You don't want your mother to worry. You don't want your mother to know that you were retrenched. That's okay. That's your decision. But 15,000 will not fly. What you can tell her, explain to her that you're going through something. I know you are used to giving her a lot of money, and she also is used to the situation of being given 15,000, but things change. She might be shocked to receive 3,000. That's exactly how much we are going to give her going forward. Give your mother 3,000 and we take 12,000. We put it in our little recoupment fund. She'll be shocked when she receives 12,000. But guess what? So were you when you were told that you were retrenched. Being shocked is not death. You did not die when you were told, ma'am, you are retrenched. You're no longer going to get the monthly salary that you were used to. You went from a big monthly income to a 0. Your mother will move from 15,000 to 3,000 and she will not die. She might be a little shocked. She might be a whole lot shocked, but she will survive, and all this will happen without you telling her you were retrenched. Just give her 3,000. Sometimes give her 3,000. Some other months give her nothing. Her mother is working. Her mom is fine. She has an income. Our sister is just someone that loves giving money to her mom, that loves spoiling her mom, helping her mom with her house, the house that she says her mother is building. But I think she is building this house, but not anymore. We are going to pause that whole house building. Mom can continue to build on her own while we figure out our financial situation. We'll give her 3,000 when we can, but for now, we cannot continue to give her 15,000 because this 15,000 can buy her one more month of job hunting if things don't go well. This 15,000 can buy her an extra month of job hunting. It can be capital for building an income source, which we need because we cannot continue without an income because, like I said, when you have 185,000 and you have nothing coming in but everything going out, we are going to need an extra income very soon. So this 15,000 can really help her generate an extra income or an income at this point. So if we cut groceries by 3,000, we only spend 4,000 on groceries. Hopefully the boyfriend can understand it's not for any other reason other than the fact that I don't have a job and I don't have an active income. Storage, if we sell some stuff in storage and we bring some of the stuff into the boyfriend's apartment, we can save that 1,500 rands. We cut nails by 500 rands. We take away 12,000 from the mom allowance. Then we will have 17,000 that we recouped. Tell me if you saw something else in her expenses that we can cut, put in our recoupment fund. Are we going to give mom 0? Are we going to cut nails to 0? Let me know. But for now, I'm going to be working with the recoupment of 17,000 rands. And with that, you can settle the overdraft balance of 2,000, settle the macro credit card, and you'll just be left with the card debt. The overdraft and the macro credit card amount to 9,000 rands. So from the 17,000 rands, she's still going to be left with 8,000 rands. The 8,000 rands can be capital that she uses to start a business while she's job hunting. She said she has a business idea to start selling blankets. So that is what the 8,000 is going to go towards. So she'll use that money to start her blanket business. And what I like about starting a business is one business builds another business. While she's selling the blankets, she's going to see another opportunity for pillows, for other things. And before you know it, she could even build an empire. And I said to her, whatever business you build, like when it becomes successful and you start to enjoy it and it really starts bringing in money and you're able to survive on, and then somewhere along the line, very soon, she's going to get a job. When you do get a job, please find a way to continue with the business, because hopefully all of us are learning something from her story that, with jobs, with 9 to 5s, with being employed by another person, you could wake up and be retrenched. And I've told you guys, I've said this before, that any one of us can be retrenched because, it's not our dad's company. So she must continue with the side hustle even after she has gotten, her fancy job back, because you always need something to fall back on. If for some reason you lose your job, you must always have some other source of income waiting for you to just carry on. So the overdraft and the credit card will be paid off, and then we'll have a blanket business and some other businesses going on the side that will be helping. However small the income is, it's still income nevertheless, and it really makes a big difference. And then we'll be left with the car debt. Remember, she does not use the car, the boyfriend uses the car. She can even put up the car on Bolt, on Uber. Since she's not working, she could decide to drive the car herself, or she could get a driver. That could make a difference to her finances and also actually put the car to good use. She's already paying a petrol of 1,500 rands, but that she'll have to decide with her boyfriend, discuss with the boyfriend to see if he would be willing to continue using his car and not her car. But otherwise, if she just tries to minimize her expenses and try to maximize new income sources, while of course actively job hunting, I think she'll be okay. Please let me know what you think. I hope you found value in this episode. If you did, please give me a big like. Subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, I hope you have a rich day.